Hey guys, welcome to the Marcast.
I'm Mara.
And I'm Marit.
And today we're going to be doing an episode where we compare the Netherlands and the U.S. How did you come to America?
Well, my dad got a job here. We heard about this, I think, like a little more than a year ago. He was like, hey guys, guess what? I'm offered a job in Fargo, North Dakota. Would you guys want to move there? And we were like, no. And first we were supposed to move to Minneapolis because my dad said Fargo was too boring. But then, like, the travel for my dad was going to be too much. So we decided to move here.
So what was, like, first impressions when you came to the U.S.?
Well, I lived in Maine last year, so that was kind of my first impression of living in the U.S. But I was in the U.S. on vacation when I was 13. And everything's just bigger. And I remember, like, the airport, everything was different. Like, to the bathrooms, the food, the people, everything's just so different. And you've seen it in the movies, but, like, to see it in real life it's just crazy.
I get that. Okay, let's start comparing a few things about the U.S. and Netherlands. I thought let's start off with language, since there is a language barrier between.
So true. So in the Netherlands we speak Dutch, so that's my first language. It's honestly pretty similar to English because it's the same. It's both a Germanic language, although Americans say it's English-based, which is very American to say. But it's a Germanic language, both of it. And so some of the words are pretty similar, just a different pronunciation. The sentence structure, though, is completely different. So that's a little complicated to, like, switch from. So often I say something in English and it's the right words, but it's in a different order because that's how I say it in Dutch. But yeah.
Are there any other countries who speak Dutch?
No. Well, South Africa speaks Afrikaans, which is really similar to Dutch because the Netherlands colonized South Africa.
Yeah.
So, like, I had a friend who lived there for a couple of years and she talked to me. She was, like, showing the language to me and it's pretty similar. But still, besides the Netherlands, no one speaks Dutch. That's why you really don't need it. And almost everyone in the Netherlands speaks English.
Yeah. I feel like everyone here in the U.S. mainly speaks English.
Or Spanish.
Yeah.
I wish I spoke Spanish.
Yeah. Okay, for our next comparison, we're going to compare food.
Yeah, food. Honestly, the food in the Netherlands is not very good. Like, we have good snacks. That's the one thing I really miss. But as for, like, meals, I wouldn't say the Netherlands has the best cuisine. Like, Italy, for example, that's way better.
Yeah.
We have one thing the Netherlands loves to do is to mash everything together. So we have, like, stamppot, which is mashed some form of vegetable. I don't know what it's called. Or, like, we eat a lot of mashed potatoes, and everything's just mashed together, which I don't like at all. But, the snacks are really good. Like stroopwafels, you have them here, but they're way better in the Netherlands. So yeah. And, like, food that both countries have, it's better in the Netherlands. So, like, bread. Yeah. I miss Dutch bread really, really bad. And cheese. My parents brought in cheese, which is nice, but it's just...
You were talking about chocolate the other day, how different it is
for
in
sure.
the U.S.
The chocolate here, I don't know what's wrong with it. It's like... My sister says it kind of tastes like someone threw up in your mouth. Like, the aftertaste is kind of like throw up. I don't really agree with it. I think it's fine. It's just Dutch chocolate's just way better. I don't know. It's just, I don't know what you guys do with it here, but it's just not that good.
I feel like a lot of U.S. citizens would say that they prefer chocolate from, like, other countries, too. So, yeah, here in the U.S., I feel like, especially in the Midwest here, we have a lot of casseroles we like to eat. And, like, salads, but overall, like, I feel like we kind of have, like, mashed potatoes and bread and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next thing, we're going to talk about clothing. Talking about clothing, do you see us wearing our matching Marcast shirts? Yep. These iconic shorts, we're trying to sell them, or we're working on being able to sell them. They're going to be between $15 and $20, so if you're interested... You can text Mara.
Yeah, contact us at Davies Live Network, no underscores, on Instagram.
And you can also be matching with us from the Marcast.
Okay, back to just regular clothing. What would you say, like, on a typical school day would someone wear?
In the Netherlands, it's all jeans. So everyone I feel like everyone dresses up as if it's a modeling agency. Everyone really tries, and honestly, it's kind of exhausting. But everyone always wears jeans. If you come in sweatpants or leggings, you'd really be bullied. So it's jeans, and then I thought something that's really in right now. I haven't been there in a while, but a lot of people wear like blazers, which I've never worn a blazer. But I think it's people in the U.S. also wear blazers, but not to school. So I feel like what people wear here for like parties, like get-togethers, like fancy more. That's what people wear to school. But yeah, it's always jeans and then just like a nice top.
Yeah, I feel like here for school, many don't really dress up because they want to be comfy.
It's way better. I love wearing sweatpants to school. I love that I'm able to.
Yeah. So is it like expensive clothes in like the Netherlands then? Because you always have to get dressed up.
Well, yeah, but I feel like the prices are pretty similar to here, and I think people here have jeans. They just don't wear them, but they still buy them, I think. Yeah. And like I bought many sweatpants here, and I didn't have any in the Netherlands. So like it's the same price, I feel like.
I get that. So, moving on, how is the weather?
Oh my god.
Netherlands?
That's the biggest thing I had to get used to when I moved here. There's no snow in the Netherlands, basically. Yeah. Well, there's a little bit of snow. It's like this much every year for like a week, and then it's gone. So it just rains a lot in the Netherlands. We have what is called a sea climate. So since we're close to the sea kind of like levels it out. So it's not really warm in the summer, and it's also not really cold in the winter. It's just in the winter it's like 30s. Maybe a little colder, maybe a little warmer, but not much. And then it just rains. And then in the fall, it almost rains every single day, which is really annoying. And then in the summer, it's like 80s. But, yeah. One thing Dutch people love to do is complain about the weather. Yeah. That's really part of our culture, I feel like. So, yeah. People always complain. And the rain, it sucks, but it's not as bad as the negative 40 weather that it is here.
I feel like a lot of people would say, like, North Dakota especially is bipolar. Like, one day it will be snowing, the next it will be, like, 50 degrees outside and sunny. So I can definitely see how that was a really big shift for you.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and especially the really cold winters.
That last 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, how are you cold half of the year? I thought there were supposed to be 4 seasons, not only 2.
Summer and winter.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. How's the housing like over in the Netherlands?
Well, to put it in perspective, the Netherlands has 17 million people living in it, and I think we're a quarter size of North Dakota, maybe a third. So it's a lot of people crammed in a tiny space, basically.
Yeah.
And I lived in the middle of the country, which is mainly cities. Like it's 4 of the biggest cities, like pretty close together. So it's pretty busy, especially compared to North Dakota. And so the houses are also very close together. It's like some people have yards, but they're like way smaller than here. And I think up north, it's like up north, as if it's such a big country. There's more space. It's more like farms, but in the middle of the country, it's a lot of city and a lot of houses close together.
Would you say most people live in like apartments or houses?
It depends where you live. In the city, it's mostly apartments, but I lived a little outside of the city, so it's a lot of houses, and like most of my friends live in houses. Except when you go to college, you have to live in an apartment. You can't. There's no dorms, so a lot of friends who are moving out, they live in an apartment now.
Yeah, here in the U.S., I feel like we're definitely more spread out. We have a lot of space here, so we're able to So yeah. Okay, next we're gonna talk about just like weekend activities. Like, what would a usual like weekend look like for someone in the Netherlands?
So my weekend, I always had a soccer game on Saturday. I think most people that play a sport, we don't play sports in school. We all play like club sports if you play a sport, and I think almost every sport has games strictly on Saturday, so not on any other day of the week. It's always Saturday. So I would have a soccer game, my brother would have a rugby game, and my sister would always have a volleyball game, always on Saturday, so we'd always go to that. Sometimes my parents would watch some of us. And then on Sundays, you just don't really do anything. You do your homework, I guess. You can hang out with your friends, but mostly you hang out on Fridays. Honestly, you can hang out whenever, really, but, like, I don't know. Saturday's soccer day, though.
Do you guys have a lot of people who go to church?
No.
No.
At least where I lived, I know there was one girl in my friend group who went to church, and, like, everyone was really interested in it, because no one really goes to church, especially not in our friend group, at least. And I think the percentage of people who are religious, I couldn't get to the word, it's a lot smaller in the Netherlands than it is in the U.S.
Yeah.
So no. I mean, I guess some people go to church. I've never been to church, though, so.
Yeah, I feel like a typical weekend here, especially in the summers, many people like to go out to, like, lake cabins, because there's, like, lakes over in Minnesota, so many people go to lake cabins, or just, like, hang out. I don't think we usually have, like, sports. Like, we do have sport games, like, during the weekends, but I feel like most sport games, like, especially, like, school sports, are, like, after school.
Yeah.
So.
I like that, because then your weekend's more open.
Yeah.
But as for going to lakes, I think I think people in the Netherlands, they don't really travel as much, even though it's such a small country. Like, if you live close to the beach, you might go to the beach. And I only live, like, an hour away from the beach, but I never went to the beach.
Yeah. Okay, well, that leads us into how does
Traveling, such a great little bridge I made there. Well, during the weekend, people don't really travel in the country, I'd say. But during the summer, people travel a lot, or at least the people I'm around. Me personally, I'm traveling a lot this summer. I'm going back to the Netherlands, and then I'm going to Italy with my family, most likely. We haven't planned it yet, but I think that's what we're doing. And then I'm going to have a vacation with my friends. We're going to go to France. And then my mom was talking about taking me to either London or Paris for a graduation trip. And then I'm also trying to plan a vacation to Barcelona with some other friends. And so maybe that's just me, but I feel like people in Europe, they travel a lot during the summer, so maybe not so much during the year. Although people do travel during Christmas break, usually to go skiing in France or Austria. I think a lot of people go to Austria. I don't like Austria. I'd rather go to France. But yeah, I'm so excited for the summer. I think people travel a lot, but not everyone. My cousin, she's been maybe 2 countries.
Yeah.
So it just really depends.
I feel like
I'm very privileged to be able to go places. I'm very thankful.
Yeah, so in the U.S. here, I feel like a lot of people travel in-state. I know a lot of people who haven't really been out of the country, or like up here in North Dakota, it's easy to go to Canada though. But yeah, I feel like we're a lot of spread out too, so I feel like traveling probably takes us longer to
It's
get
also
places.
so expensive because you have to basically fly. Like, you can't just drive to a country. And airfare is really expensive here. I think in the Netherlands or in Europe, it's a lot less if you, like, book it properly. But also you can just drive. It's so easy.
Do they have like borders along in Europe where you have to like stop and give them the passport?
So in the EU, you can travel. I'm pretty sure you can just travel wherever you want.
Yeah.
You do need an ID card, but most people have that already. And then for a passport, you need the passport outside of the EU, the European Union. Sorry.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people have a passport, but not everyone does. But a lot of people, if they don't have a passport, they have an ID card. And so you can travel anywhere in the EU, which is quite like 30 countries, I want to say. I don't know.
So, let's talk about like different activities that you guys have in the Netherlands.
Like what?
Like sports.
So sports are all outside of school. It's mostly soccer for boys, and then field hockey, which we don't have here in North Dakota, I feel like. Field hockey, a lot of people play field hockey, so it's either soccer or field hockey. That's basically your options. And then some people, like my brother plays rugby, but that's really rare. And then my sister does volleyball. Kind of depends on where you live, what's the most popular, but it's mainly soccer and field hockey, which I hate field hockey, but some people like it. And then other activities, I don't feel like I do that much in the Netherlands. We go to people's houses and we just sit there. Or we go to like these little pond areas and we just sit there with food. Also very nice. Yeah, I don't really do that much, I don't think.
Do you guys have like band and orchestra like we have here?
I mean, you can choose to play an instrument, but usually your parents just put you in that when you're younger. But I don't know anyone that does orchestra. What's orchestra exactly?
The violin, viola,
Oh,
cello,
yeah.
bass.
Well, actually, I was going to play the violin,
Yeah.
but then I moved to New Zealand, so I never got to learn it. But, we did have, like, a band thing at my school. So it was like, we also had a theater club, actually.
Oh.
We had, like, yeah. What did we do? I think they had like plays, but no one actually went to them, and they were also pretty bad, I think, especially compared to here, because the productions are so, like, big and, like, good.
Yeah.
And then, like, in my school, at least, it wasn't very good. It was, like, the what do you call them, the sets?
Yeah.
It wasn't really a set. It was just, like, a chair or something, or, like, a table with, like, something over it. But yeah, we did have a band group, I think, and we had like this one day a year where we had like what was it called? I don't remember what it's called, but it was like a talent show where everyone got to do their little thing, and the theater club would do like 5 minutes of something, and then people would play their instrument. But we didn't really have orchestra like it is here.
Yeah, I definitely feel like here in the U.S. we have a lot of different activities.
And a lot of clubs at school.
Especially for this school, like we have the theater club, we have orchestra, band, choir, we have like different like clubs, like the broadcasting club we're in.
Which you should totally join.
Help us film. But
and you can get paid.
But
You're really close to the mic.
We even have like a key club, which is a volunteering club. We have gaming clubs for people to join, book clubs, all sorts of clubs.
Yeah, I feel like in the U.S., everything you do is much more focused at, not per se school related, but like out of school. Yeah. So like you can see that for college applications. Like here, you have to like write down every single club you've been in, and that's like really important for a college application, which I haven't been in any. So like that's great. Because in the Netherlands, your grades are all that matters. So like it doesn't really, like, you can join a club all you want. It's not gonna get you into a college. So like why would you, you know? Unless you like really like it, I guess. So like I know people here play like sports, so it looks good. I played sport because I wanted to play sport, you know, and it's also a lot less stressful, I'd say, in the Netherlands. Yeah. I only had practice twice a week and then one game, and like no one really was trying. It was all just like laid back. And here everyone's like, go. I mean, this week I have 4 games. Who decided that, you know? Yeah. So I feel like it's a lot more here.
Yeah, I definitely feel like school is more important in the Netherlands than here.
Yeah, like the academic part of school, for sure, I think. It's also a lot harder, so I'm very glad I'm here.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to relationships. Like, what does a relationship look like in the Netherlands?
Like a romantic relationship?
I guess, or like...
I don't have much experience with that. So I couldn't really tell you.
Yeah.
What do I have? I feel like, honestly, people are not... Maybe it's just me, but I feel like people aren't in a relationship as much in the Netherlands as they are here.
Yeah.
I think everyone here is dating someone. And I think people date here just to date, but maybe that's just my perspective. But I feel like, see, they're nodding their heads. I feel like people just want a relationship just to be like, I'm in a relationship.
Yeah.
And like, for like prom, like everyone needs to have a date, you know? And it's such a big thing. And I don't think, I mean, my friend, why is this light like changing?
I don't know.
But I know all my friends now, suddenly they all have boyfriends.
Yeah.
But when I was in high school, or I'm still in high school, when they were still in high school with me, still in high school, there was only one person in my friend group who was in a relationship. And, like, it wasn't that big of a thing. But then again, might just be me.
I definitely see, like, how relationships are important. So what's like music like in the Netherlands? Because I know they speak a different language.
Yeah, so we also have music, but it's really bad.
Oh.
So personally, I don't really like Dutch music. Well, okay, I ironically listen. No, I don't know how to say that.
Yeah.
I like listen to Dutch music because it makes me like nostalgic, but I don't actually like it.
I get that. Yeah.
The only people I do really like, which is almost like a guilty pleasure because my family actually like hates them. It's Susanne and Freek. Like, it's awesome, but like other than that, Dutch music is just not very good. I think most people just listen to English music. It's very similar to here in America. Although then suddenly I go to prom and I don't know any of the songs.
Yeah.
Then again, might just be me.
Yeah, we definitely have a range of music here, but it's mostly like pop music here.
Yeah, I think that's very similar in the Netherlands. Like, I listen to Harry Styles. I went to his concert, and a lot of people here listen to Harry Styles, so that's like similar.
Yeah. How does like work look like over in the Netherlands?
Well, most people start working pretty soon.
Yeah.
I think you can start applying for jobs when you're like 15. That's when I got my first job. I think that's right where you're allowed to. Maybe it's not, but I think it is. And I've had 3 jobs in the Netherlands. Unfortunately, I can't work here, but I did in the Netherlands. So, I worked at a little drugstore, or little, I don't know, it's pretty big actually. A drugstore and then a sushi place, which is really fun. And then like a fast food place. But the minimum wage is crazy compared to here because I think I read this. They want the government. This is gonna sound conspiracy-like, but the government wants to have people stay in school, so they make the minimum wage for people who are still in school really low. So like under 18, I think the minimum wage is like €5, $5.
Oh, wow.
Or like I think, what did I make? I made like €3.60 at my first job, and I thought that was so cool. I thought I was like rich. No, I wasn't. I made €3. Maybe that's like with tax taken off it. I don't know.
Oh.
And here the minimum wage is well, the minimum wage is pretty low, but people make like 15.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I made my last job. I made $7.50, and that was quite a lot. That was above minimum wage. It was the age group higher than I actually was, and like the boss was really nice to me, so he gave me a little extra, and I still only made $7.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I think people, or at least in Maine, my experience, people worked a lot more. I don't know here. I think people work quite a lot.
I think a lot of people work here, yeah.
But like that makes sense because they actually make money.
That is true.
Like in the Netherlands, you can work all you want and you still don't have a lot of money. In my experience.
Tied to that, is like college really expensive in the Netherlands?
No.
No.
I don't. My sister's going to college in the Netherlands. I don't think she's going to be paying as much. However, one important difference: you don't get a house. Like you have to buy your house, or like stay with your parents, or like rent a house. Don't buy it. Which is really expensive, especially right now. If you're gonna go to college in a city, forget it. You can't get a house. Like in Amsterdam, like sorry, you just won't get it. Like my friends, they've been one of them, like a bunch of them, go to college in Amsterdam, and they can't get a house. Like they've been one of them. She really wants to move out, and she's been looking. Fenna, she's been looking like every day for the last year, and there's just no houses available, or it's like really expensive. And my sister, she's gonna move back, and it was really a struggle for her to find an apartment. So I think with that combined, it might be like closer to what the U.S. is, but still the U.S. is so expensive. Then again, you can get scholarships for everything. I don't think you can get scholarships in the Netherlands, or at least I wouldn't know how to.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. So, like, we have, like, a president here in the U.S. What does, like, your government look like?
So the Netherlands has a parliament, So we have a prime minister he's the leader of the biggest party, and he can stay however long he wants unless his party isn't the biggest anymore.
Yeah.
And so we also have a king, which, funny that you mention it. It was King's Day only like a week ago. So we all wore. I mean, I wore orange, and like everyone went out to party. I think, except I wasn't there. So we have a king, but he's only like he doesn't really do anything. He's just there to like be like, hi, I'm the king, and he like cuts the ribbons, and he like I think he signs laws, but he might not. Honestly, government in the Netherlands, the class it's like 2 years ago. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he signs laws, and then but other than that, he doesn't do anything. He has a wife. She's the queen. She's from Argentina.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. And then 3 daughters. And one of them is going to be the Queen of the Netherlands later. And she's my age, so that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, the one thing we do for the king is King's Day, which is his birthday, and then we just celebrate the king by wearing orange and drinking a lot. I don't thank you guys for watching all the way through from the Marcast. I hope you liked it.
Thanks to Theo for filming and editing this and helping us set up. And tune in next time for our next episode, episode 3 on the Marcast. Bye.